All right. You count me down just so I know. There you go.
4, 3, 2, 1. We are live.
Welcome in, Greg Ruff and Doug Novak, the women's basketball coach here at Trevecca. And I'll start off with how was Thanksgiving?
Oh, it's great. Great. In fact, my youngest daughter was in a hockey tournament in Nashville, so we spent most of the time in an ice rink after our Thanksgiving meal.
That's cold.
It's cold.
I used to ice skate a whole lot, played pickup hockey, and it's cold, and it's even colder, I think, when it's cold outside for some reason, even though it's the same temperature. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, right?
It's even colder when you're sitting
Yes.
watching,
Yes.
and it just gets 1 degree colder each
Yeah.
10 minutes that you're there.
Yeah. We went to the Tennessee Vanderbilt football game, and I think every 10 minutes it got colder up there in the stands. But
Sure did for the Vols.
It did. It did get very cold at the second half for them. And did you graduate from UT?
I did.
You did. So do you pull for them in all their sports or?
I do. I had to take a little bit of break when I was coaching at Mississippi State, so
Yes, yes.
wasn't a huge fan at that time.
You've been in the world of coaching and like football. We'll get back to basketball in a minute, but with football coaching, that's the hot topic right now, and it's unlike any other time because the coaches and the schools have to make a decision because of signing day, and so you got coaches like Lane Kiffin that's having to give up coaching his team that he recruited and got him to this point. And how do you feel about that as a head coach?
Well, I don't think he had to. He chose to.
Yeah,
But-
exactly. Good.
But
Good
it's
point.
I think their calendars are all screwed up.
Yeah.
They probably need to revisit how they do things, in that matter. But I'm a big college football fan. When I was at Tennessee, I became very close with Phil Fulmer. He was the offensive line coach, and then he transitioned into being the head coach.
Mm-hmm.
And so we became very good friends. In fact, when I took my first basketball job at Roane State, he was going to put his wide receivers, instead of sending them out to Kansas to play football, they're going to play basketball for us at Roane State. Then I ended up leaving and taking another job. But he helped me quite a bit early on, in securing a couple jobs. In fact, that job at Roane State he helped out with. And then when I was at Clemson with Tommy Bowden. I used to go to a lot of those practices, and every coach is different.
Yeah.
To me, practice is sacred. That's our sanctuary. I don't want anybody in our gym. That's our teaching time. That's our time to get together. But like with Tommy Bowden, he'd say, "Hey, come on over." I'd be in the middle of the field while everything was going on, and I felt very uncomfortable, like I was in the way.
Yeah.
But he had everything run so well. And then obviously my favorite of all time was Mike Leach at Mississippi State.
Oh, yeah.
And I got to spend a lot of time with him while he was there. And in fact, I went to a lot of his practices as well. And they were just so different and so unique. To me, it was a basketball practice more than a football practice. So I really enjoyed watching that.
You guys are 3-1 heading into conference play. I know you kind of. I take it that you're. I'm learning that you worry about you. How much do you look at AUM and Montevallo before this weekend?
Oh, we look at them. We glance at them. We know what to prepare for, and we're ready for that. But the bulk of our time is going to be in refining and developing our identity and being good at what we do. But for sure, like we have full scouting reports. What we show the team is probably different than the amount that we watch ourselves.
Yeah.
So, we know what both of those teams do, what their identity is at this point. But all teams change and
Yes,
evolve.
true.
And so at this time of year, you have no idea. So whether a team's done well in the preseason, non-conference games or not, it doesn't really matter. When it starts, everybody has a certain level of enthusiasm, and some teams grow, and then some teams dissolve as the year goes on, depending on how the program is run.
You have. I became a grandpa about almost 4 months ago, and every time I see my grandson, I see something different. Like even if it's the next day, you kind of have a new baby in this team, and you're growing over this time. But you've had a unique thing, and after 4 games, you've had almost 2 weeks. Even though you had Thanksgiving break, you had almost 2 weeks. How's your team changed over this 2-week period?
Well, I remember the first time that I ever gave a team this much time off, and I was a lot younger, and I was going crazy. I said, we can't do this. It's all about work, work. And what you find out is it's a really good time if you can do it, because not all schedules permit it.
Yeah.
But to work really hard, intense. I used the example of the rubber band being stretched, and it's pretty tight.
Yeah.
If it stays tight the whole time, it's going to snap.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you got to release the pressure a little bit. And that little break allowed us, 1, to get some fresh legs, 2, to take care of a couple of injuries, but 3, also rest their minds so that when they come back, they didn't miss a beat. In fact, they're more fresh. Their brain's ready to go. So it's a constant stretching of that rubber band and then releasing it for the optimal learning experience.
He's Doug Novak. I'm Greg Ruff. We've got Trevecca women's basketball coming up next. Good.
Is that it?
Yeah.